Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
Rosalind is one of the few people in the world of crypto that isn't a fan of Biden's executive order, as it turns out. Which makes her perspective particularly interesting. And I do respect her opinion quite a bit. I do share her concern about what Congress may do as a result of the Biden executive order. And I spoke about that in a video literally just yesterday. So I've made my opinion known. I'm not going to rehash that in this video, but I actually do share that concern, and I think I made it pretty damn clear. I think that government, especially on the federal level, is largely incompetent. Okay? I just do. Why? Look at history. Look at what government has done and not done. Just my humble opinion. Now, however, there isn't anything bad within the executive order itself. That's my position anyway. And in Congress, however incompetent, is the only real avenue to pursue in order to rein in the SEC, ideally with additional lobbying pressure to do so. But the government doesn't literally mess up everything, but also does not have a very strong track record in my estimation. And of course, the federal government on the whole got internet regulation correct. Not everything's perfect about it, but on the whole it did. Back in the 90s, so it's not impossible for things to work out as it pertains to crypto here. But no, I have the concerns, but it's not so much for me what's written within the executive order itself. It's more so how will Congress and everybody tasked to respond to this executive order, how will they respond? That's the question. And so the fears that Rosalind Layton expresses in this piece, yep, right on board with that. But before going any further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. In we go, folks. Investors are looking for leadership from the president on financial innovation. Instead, they get a word salad of an executive order on consumers, financial stability, national security, and climate risks. The executive order is a regulatory pylon which asserts that 10 federal agencies, a cadre of state insurance, banking, and securities regulators, and a smattering of other bureaucrats to protect consumers, investors, and business while ensuring, quote, sufficient oversight and safeguard against any systemic financial risks posed by digital assets, end quote. And so consumers and financial innovators have long wanted a coherent, predictable regulatory regime which supports investment and experimentation while providing needed information to the public. Sadly, Biden's order merely punts the issue back to regulators to codify their capricious and abusive overreach. So again, here's the thing though, it's always going to be Congress that has the ultimate power over all this, so it's a question of what will Congress do. So Biden can word what they're looking for in the report that they requested, and try and lead things having to do with all of these topics, climate risks here, all the things that were just cited right there. It is up to those people tasked with responding to respond responsibly. And so that's what I'm waiting for, and that's why, again, I share the concern that she's expressing here, as I've made very clear in my previous video as well. But just because, the executive orders asking for all of these things, it doesn't mean that it's going to fulfill the overall Biden agenda and everything having to do with the types of things cited here in this article. So that's what we'll see. So not so much that I disagree with Rosalind Layton regarding the concerns. It's just a question of where's the real problem. Like where's the blockade in terms of forward momentum, and it would be truly if those people tasked with handling this after the executive order, if they botch it, not it's the holdup's not here in the executive order itself. That's basically the only idea I'm trying to get across. I hope I made that clear. Anyway, I hope I succinctly worded that. Anyway, continues. Here's the little subheading: the Ripple case. A settlement is not enough. Ironically, the executive order increases the importance of the landmark federal court battle going on in the Southern District of New York between the Securities and Exchange Commission and enterprise blockchain software company Ripple Labs. With all the sweeping arguments put forth by the SEC in its complaint and the scrappy, brilliant defense put up by Ripple, the questions now go well beyond whether Ripple and its two senior executives violated Section 5 of the Securities Act through with the unregistered sale of XRP. The SEC's assertion of unlimited power in the absence of regulatory clarity is what's really on trial. A settlement isn't the right outcome in the case if it leaves the government unchastened, uncontained, and free to attack again. Yeah, which is why, let's pause here, that's why settlement wouldn't really be enough. Maybe for Ripple and XRP holders, okay, sufficient for us then. For the space, no. Not really. No, unfortunately not. And even then, still, it doesn't provide sufficient justice for the damage that's been done, but that's a whole separate thing. And then the degree to which they're, because look at the appearances of impropriety. Is anybody going to do a third-party investigation and figure out what the hell's been going on with all the stuff with Hinman and Clayton and all that stuff? I'm not convinced it's going to happen, but I would love to see it happen. Anyway, Rosalind continues. Moreover, class action against the SEC also needs to play out. Thousands of retail XRP holders with no connection to Ripple were needlessly harmed by the SEC's inexplicable behavior. The enforcement action, filed on then SEC Chairman Jay Clayton's last day in office, dealt a 1-2 punch by crashing the value of the third largest cryptocurrency in the world, which had been trading on the secondary market since 2013, and then locking up consumers' holdings when exchanges suspended XRP trading for fear of SEC reprisal. Court evidence suggests that consumers lost as much as $15 billion as a result of the SEC's enforcement. Others have had their assets padlocked for over a year. Represented by attorney John Deaton, over 65,000 of them were granted friend of the court status by the judge, who confessed she found no judicial precedent of investors seeking to intervene in a case as defendants. Some have understandably been clamoring for Ripple to settle at any cost so they can get relief. But the SEC's capriciousness in court and in public has needlessly dragged out the case and raised the stakes for all. Ain't that the truth? And then the next section's titled Chairman's Conquest, which sounds about right to me. The SEC's 2020 complaint alleges that all distributions of the XRP token since 2013 have been unregistered securities transactions. The agency argued that the token itself is a security and that its open source decentralized ledger has no other utility but as an investment contract in one company. And that this was all evident to all. This abruptly departs from Howey, the 1946 Supreme Court test for determining a security. Ripple's defense countered that the SEC gave no fair notice for 7 years. In fact, Clayton and his hand-picked deputy, William Hinman, put out a blizzard of contradictory guidance to the markets. Ripple documented multiple attempts by many to get a clear answer from the SEC, but to no avail. Yeah, let me just pause here to share with you something that Attorney John Deaton had to say on this idea that one of the sentences here, which reads as, "This abruptly departs from Howey, the 1946 Supreme Court test for determining a security." Because again, what she cited here is that XRP itself is being the actual security, the nature of XRP existing. That's what she's citing, and that is what the SEC is arguing. And on that, John Deaton had to say the following when this was when he was sharing Rosalind's article a little bit earlier today, and he wrote the following. Imagine 1946, an orange tree owner selling the oranges to local grocery stores who sell it to individuals. The SEC sues the Howey Company because it sold the orange groves to the owners. Now imagine the SEC claiming all the oranges securities. Welcome to 2022 and the SEC versus Ripple and XRP. That is so damn true. Literally, that is the perfect analogy right there. Claiming that XRP itself, by the nature of it existing, is a security is just as absurd as claiming oranges, by the nature of oranges existing, those are also securities. Completely absurd. It's an incoherent thought process, completely illogical. Anyway, piece continues. Current SEC Chairman Gary Gensler guidance is clearer. He wants to crack down on every digital asset, stablecoins, utility tokens, centralized or decentralized ledgers, and he will use every weapon he's got against the industry to expand the agency's turf and lengthen his resume for promotion to Treasury Secretary. Yeah, so pause to note, this is what we're speculating. Like, why are you behaving like? Because Gary, if you have Gary from 2018 debate Gary from 2022, they do not agree on a whole lot of stuff. Like, they agree on certain things, and they do have an understanding of crypto in general, for sure. But Gary Gensler, what he worded specifically about Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP, which I've covered so many times on this channel, I'm not going to get into the purposes of this video. It's completely at odds with what he's saying right now. So then the question is, why has he done a complete 180? Well, if it's not for personal interest, then for what? Because I don't believe that you just like on the snap of a finger, oh, I'm SEC chair and I've completely changed my stance on all these crucial things. No, there's something else going on there, right? So the question is it to lengthen his resume for promotion to Treasury Secretary one day? Highly relevant question, I'd say. Piece continues. Conflicts of interest certainly appear to be significant with the former SEC officials. Clayton's first job after the Ripple case was filed was with One River Digital Asset Management, a crypto hedge fund that had made a $1 billion bet exclusively on Bitcoin and Ether shortly before the Ripple case was filed against the main market rival for those tokens at the time, XRP. Deaton and his army of XRP holders have asked Congress to investigate. Hinman reported receiving over $15 million in retirement payments from Simpson Thacher, a law firm closely aligned with Ethereum, while he made SEC policy favorable to Ether. Yeah, pause. He did that, and we're the conspiracy theorists, allegedly. What a bunch of crap. Peace continues. He then immediately returned to the firm after leaving the SEC and was signed to a $1 billion fund managed by venture capital investors in Ethereum. A settlement could close the book on these egregious actions and encourage further conflicts. If the president is not willing to back a coherent framework, there is no reason for his administrative minions to do so. With Biden punting and Congress unable to legislate, court is the last stop for justice against a runaway train of regulatory overreach. Let's hope that the cryptocurrency trial of the century ends with the judge's public decision rather than the parties settling in private.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.